Hey Leo, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for March 18th, 2025. This is for Leo. Last shuffle here for Leo. Let's see what's going on, Leo. Leo, it's time for you to start over here, okay? Some of you may be feeling guilty. You may feel like a lot of the decisions that you made, whether you caused the problems or not. I'm getting this really strange vibe of a person who's saying, look, I made some I made some choices, right? Um, I made I made some decisions. I had a lot of hope in my decisions. I felt like if I made this choice, for one, this decision that you may have made was it was the best at the moment. I felt like I can make it happen, right? Especially if this had to do with a romantic relationship. You felt like my love could move mountains in this situation, no matter what the person is or what the person has done or where they come from, because this person may have come from a whole different walk of life than you, right? And how that could be is it could have been anything. You know how we're different, 100%. A lot of comedians make jokes, right, about, oh, someone who's has substance abuse issues and a Christian, you can't, those two can't go together. I think Chris Rock was the one that said that. But of course, it was a lot more rugged, okay, but if his joke, but it seems as though like two walks of life, right? Either, and it doesn't show religion, but it could have been two separate religions, or two different brackets of educational levels, or something, right? Beyond the dichotomy between either gender or race, we come from two different backgrounds, two different cultures, something. I felt like my love could overcome those challenges. Maybe didn't overcome the challenges. Perhaps the problems seemed to be spilling over into your relationship. And so what I'm seeing for you is that some of you may feel guilt about the decisions you made. Maybe if you could go back, you would change some things. Maybe I wouldn't make that decision. Perhaps I would have stuck to my roots. I would have stuck to what I knew to be true. That I know once my grandmother told me that she says, don't ever go with someone who has a different family background than you. And I was like, oh, that's foolishness, right? And what's funny is that they were a tad bit like culturist, racist a little bit. They didn't like certain cultures, certain spaces in America were like a no go. Do not marry these types of people. Do not date this type of a person ever. And of course, who listens, right? I see my cousins, all of us. We went off and did. We went exactly to where they said don't go, and of course we had a lot of obstacles to overcome. And so I'm seeing that some of you may be going, I feel I feel like I made a choice that wasn't so great, right? Because I had so much hope. I thought I would be able to make things work. Although I'm seeing that happen, I'm seeing big happy changes coming in for you. It's time for you to approach your situation, especially if you are still connected to someone with the Two of Cups here and the Seven of Cups and the Hierophant, especially if you're married to a person. Um, it's time for you to approach that relationship with fresh pair of eyes like you did when you first started, with the hope and the faith that you had at the very beginning, and releasing some level of a guilt that I made a bad choice, right? I didn't nourish myself. This relationship may not have nourished you. You were giving to some degree, and now you may have found yourself like very giving, probably doing whatever it took, being, to make it work, being very reliable, of pushing a perfectionist energy onto yourself. I must be perfect. I have to be this way. That you know, kind of thing. This is not all about romantic relationships, but that is just the first channeled message I'm seeing in this energy. And so they're showing that perhaps it has rendered you, the stuff that you've gone through has rendered you sort of narrow minded. Even to some degree, you doubt yourself. Even for some of you, you're self righteous, like, I am the good one and they're the bad one. The truth of it is that spirit wants you to let go of the guilt, right? Realize that every decision that you made expanded your understanding of life and of love. You understand now what life is all about and what love really truly is. And so they want you to continue to breathe love into your life. And by that, that's an effortless effort to remind yourself to look at every aspect of your life and focus on the things that you love. Focus on the things that have brought you joy, that what has love brought you. Okay, and I'm seeing Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands over the reading. This speaks about what you've learned and what you are moving forward into the future with, the lessons that you've learned. I'm seeing angel number 1919, and 1919 is about karma. It's about releasing the need to control your situation, maybe feeling as though, you know what, if I had it to do all over again, I would have said that, I would have done that, I would have made them XYZ, I would have did whatever. And they're saying that you can't, or that would bring about a karmic energy. They want you to learn your lessons so that you do not repeat them in the future. But you need to make space for new experiences. You need to start with a beginner mind, coming into a situation free, new. You know what? Today I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be the person I was at the very beginning. Difficult to do. Doesn't have to be romantically connected. Okay, this is about anything, but I am seeing romance. But if you, especially if you're starting a business, if you started a business, if you, whatever this is in any area of your life, they want you to realize that you didn't make a bad choice, that really it was an opportunity to learn. Did you learn your lesson is the question. And you'll, you know, the proof is in the pudding. So when we have increase with the World, Three of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and the Hierophant, that is usually about all eyes on you, Leo. I'm seeing you being watched heavily. I almost feel as though everyone that's dealing with you is watching you, paying attention to every little thing you do. Some of you may feel like you're being stalked when this comes out. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're being stalked, but I am seeing that you've got to, okay, this is another thing she told me. My grandmother said, she was like, whenever you step outside, you're on stage. I used to get so upset about that because I'd be like, I don't want to be watched. Leos, everyone thinks that Leos are the ones that want to be in the spotlight, and that's not necessarily the case. We are in our own spotlight. We don't want to be in everyone else's, which is hilarious to me. Some people are. I will say that. I think it depends on what you're cut with in different aspects of your chart. I have heavy Aries and Scorpio, so a lot of me wants to be private. Um, so you know, it depends on what all the other things, right? The things in your chart. But what I'm seeing is an increase of you being watched, and spirit is asking you to bring your spiritual energy to everything, right? We're showing two worlds here, Leo, of where you come from and what you've developed into. And a lot of you have developed your spiritual condition to the degree where you do realize that there's no right or wrong in your situation. There's no right or wrong in anyone's life, right? It's all about a series of choices, a series of cycles, a series of chapters. What have we learned from that chapter, right? Did we answer the questions at the end of the chapter? Like, you know, did we understand the lesson of what was being taught in that chapter? I'm seeing that spirit wants you to realize or act as if you are being watched. It's time for you to come into a situation. A lot of these things are going to be impromptu things. Like out of nowhere, you're just going to be approached. Like this might be, and I don't see necessarily fame, but like imagine you're walking out of a building and the mic is being tossed in your face. Leo, what did you, you know, and they're showing like you've got to realize that it's not that you have to be perfect or that you have to have the right answer for everything. You're not Mr. or Mrs. President, but presenting your life and walking as if not only is it past on loved ones watching you, angels are watching you, spirits are watching you, right? Your spirit team's watching you. Um, Other deities are watching you, whatever it is, gods and goddesses watching you and the people around you. And what are you representing? What are you walking with? What is your mantle? What is your armor? And the armor and the mantle is the truth of what you love, the hope that you have, knowing that you're pure magic. And what are you going to do with that? You have a responsibility. You are a powerhouse or a leader of sorts, highly revered in the spiritual realm, in this energy. Courage is the Two of Cups and the Seven of Cups, right? They're asking you to walk in this energy. This is the energy you're walking in, of knowing that anything is possible, and that if anything is possible, then what are we wanting to align to? What is the righteous desire of your heart? What is it truly? What is it that you truly want in your love relationships, in your like romantic, your platonic friendships, your partnerships, and the things that you're wanting to align to? Because Two of Cups, a lot of times, yes, it's about relationships. Yes, it's about two coming together, but it's also about A and point B. Leo, you're at point A. Where is point B for you, and how do you want that to connect, right? So you're moving fast. I'm seeing a fast energy of things lining up for you. So what are we spending our time on, Leo? That's the question. What are you actually spending your time on? Are we focusing on what makes us happy? Are we trying to balance things out to where we're saying, listen, there's no right or wrong here. It's only happiness and lessons. What is it that makes you happy? When it comes to matters of the heart, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just what is. And so there's something about understanding that with the Ascendant Masters. Understanding that this and that can be true, right? I can be in this doing XYZ and still be happy with it, regardless of what that is. And it seems like it's a two worlds. So, and I don't know why, like, this would be like, no matter what that is. Some of you may be boxers or something, something that most people will be like, I can't believe you're so happy, doing that. And it makes you happy, right? And as long as you're pure in spirit about what makes you happy, Spirit's like, there's no such thing as right or wrong. You've got to nourish your body and your soul. And in that energy, it brings to mind either the color, the scent, or the flavor of chocolate, the actual chocolate. And how I always bring up blood types, right? And how certain blood types can tolerate certain things, or certain things are beneficial to certain blood types and not for others. Whereas one person is like, listen, this has helped me tremendously, and then you try it and then you blow up, right? Because I know there's one, I kid you not, this one always blows my mind, even chicken, down to chicken, right? Chicken is the universal, everyone knows, the universal diet meat, or whatever the case is, right? If you're saying, I'm trying to eat light, let me do a chicken. So, certain blood types can't tolerate chicken. Chicken blows them up, makes them big, gives you cankles, and settles in your joints and creates pain. And I happen to be one of those people that can't eat chicken. And I thought that was interesting because I love fried chicken. I live around the corner from a very country place. They make the best chicken I've ever had in my life. I ate it religiously every weekend, or every week I had some chicken, some of it. And I ended up getting out of the bed. I'm early 40s, late 30s, I'm getting out of bed. My ankles hurt. And I'm like, there's no way that I'm experiencing joint pain this early. And started doing this blood type diet, found that I couldn't eat it, stopped, cut it out, lost weight. Okay, I was like 200 pounds, couldn't lose weight. And that was it. But some people can drink beer. Beer actually was beneficial to their body and their blood type. I think that, and some people, it's like, don't ever touch it. You get a beer belly. But you ever see some people who drink and they never get big? I actually know somebody like that. Was a Marine, drank beer. Still to this day is slim, muscled up. And I'm just like, how? And I mean drank, okay? However it goes, Spirit is bringing up that you've got to nourish yourself. And it may be something that seems like it couldn't be nourishing for you. So that's why chocolate came up. So milestone is Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. Like, tobacco. Someone's like, oh, tobacco is terrible for you. But if you were to actually take the pure leaf or whatever, it would heal some things in your body. And whereas the next person is like, they're falling out. Okay. And so that's another thing too. I kid you not, that changed my life when I saw that. And of course I sound like a walking ad for this diet, but it's not even a diet really. It's a way of life now. For me, I'm like, now I want to look into all kinds of things about my blood type. What other things metabolically can I do to actually improve things in my body, because my spirit is housed in this body, but with milestone, with the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords, it seems like some things now you naturally are going to just stop doing. It seems like you're going to start expanding on things, but not just stop doing certain things, stop interacting with people in certain ways. It seems like now you may find that naturally the milestone usually is something that no matter what based on where you are now, your trajectory is going to lead to this, right? And it may be something that's far-fetched, so not far-fetched, but something that is like so far down the line that you don't even know if you're going to make it. But obviously if you keep going this route, you're going to make it. There's something that you may stop doing, and you may stop holding on to something. I'm seeing that energy. And a lot of you one thing you need to stop doing is you need to let go of some level of guilt. Guilt surrounding an ending. Like, why did this end? It had something to do with me. Why did this relationship end? Why did that job end? Why did this happen? And it must have something to do with what I've done. Basically, Spirit is saying, no, these are things that were really being done or had to happen. It was meant to happen no matter what. Just beginning it was going to end that way regardless. Just starting the situation, starting that relationship, it was already headed to an ending based on what you were bringing to the table and what they were bringing to the table. No matter how much magic you feel like you bring, no matter how much hope and faith you bring or love you bring, it would have never still reached this end, even though you felt like you had more than enough to spill into this connection or spill into that job or whatever to make it work. It wasn't going to. And so because it's like you could bring your spirit, but if the other person doesn't bring it, you can bring your spirit, but if that place, that job wasn't rooted in caring for the spirit of the people that work for them, it wasn't going to go anywhere. You could have came in like, I have the best of intentions. They don't. Doesn't matter, right? You got to let go of some level of feeling guilty that perhaps you're moving on, right? But you wouldn't have if things would have went right, if someone would have acted right. But I'm seeing big happy changes for you, and the happy changes are going to occur no matter what you do. It seems like that's what's going to happen. Big happy changes. They want you to be a lot more act with integrity. You already do, right? Focus on being efficient, focus on giving, focus on taking better care of yourself. And anytime that you start to doubt anything at all, you say, I'm just pure magic, man. I'm just pure magic. Things happen for me. And then that opens doors to say, well, what do you want to have happen? What do you want to make happen for yourself? They want you to breathe. They call it breathing love into your life. And that means it's effortless and involuntary. And so that would say to remind yourself each moment to look around and go, you know what I love? I love my altar cloth. You know what I love? I love how this or that, right? I love whatever. Focus on loving things in your life. And also, I'm seeing someone having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone. So it's real. It's worth you speaking about how you feel. It's you may want to talk to someone about, especially if you're ending a relationship, or this relationship has brought you through a lot of turmoil. Like you've just gone through a lot with this person. It's important to have this heart to heart, be honest about the fact that, there's no such thing as right or wrong. Look, I just want to, either you just want to start over or you want to move on. Let's start over. Or just talking about your feelings is important. Don't force, it's also too, don't force the other person to speak about anything. This is about being honest. Your honesty will open up doors for this other person to speak. It doesn't have to be romantic that we're having this conversation. But it's almost to speak so that both of you can say, I understand that, you know what, it's not necessarily a right or wrong, but I learned a valuable lesson from this decision. I know I will never want to do XYZ anymore or again, or I now understand what love really means and how to show it, or understand now that, you know, life is much bigger than what I thought it was, or whatever the case is. There's something about needing to have a heart to heart. So you could be looking to your fourth house. Your fourth house will speak about the dichotomy between the worlds that you're in, where you came from and where you are. You could be dealing with a Taurus or a Capricorn. Those are the main signs. We also have Virgo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You could be a Leo Virgo cusp dealing with a Virgo Libra cusp. We have Taurus Gemini cusp or Capricorn Aquarius cusp. If you're not dealing with those signs, but you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.